just meditate. Don't feel the hate, use the energy and levitate. Contemplate, make sure your next decision great. Thank me later, I just showed you how to elevate. About the shit in our communities. Drop knowledge just to spread opportunities. And as always, think with greatness. Into the next song.
Overlook. The Finns are 8-0 this season when he plays at least 50% of the team snaps. Tua has logged 5 straight games with a pass TD and 0 interceptions, which is tied with himself for the longest streak in Dolphins history. Dan, back here with us. Dan, tell me this. Will Tua show out versus that stout Niners D? What do you think?
Yeah, he's gonna. And I love the Niners D. But Tua's going to play well. Tua hasn't played poorly this year. We don't have evidence that Tua has played a poor game. There is not a game that he has started this year and finished that he doesn't have a passer rating over 100. That's absurd. Cincinnati is the one game when he got injured, and then Houston he played for like 2.5 quarters last week. Those are the only 2 games this year that he doesn't have a passer rating game over 100. Candidly, Molly, he's only had 1 poor game in his last like 16 or 17 starts. Go back to last year. I think it was the end of the season, maybe versus Tennessee, where he played poorly. Over the course of really the last season of starts, Tua's played really good football. And the reality is this. Even with Teron Armstead out, I believe that because of the style of defense that San Francisco plays, it's a good matchup for Miami. They'll get the ball in his hands quickly. They'll be in a RPO-based offense. They'll do a ton of pre-snap motion and movement. They'll move Tua a lot. I don't have any reason to think that Tua's not going to play well given what he's done under Mike McDaniel this year in Miami.
Dan Orlovsky. We shall see. It's a first time for everything, my brother. And let me tell you something. This San Francisco 49ers defense, #1 in points allowed.
I love them.
#1 in yards allowed. #1 against the run. Top 11 against the pass. You know me, it's about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and how sensational they can be and how they can get open against anybody. But we also got to pay attention, and let me be very serious when I say this. I'm not wishing this. I'm not wishing any harm on Tua Tagovailoa whatsoever. Zero. I want him healthy and ready to go, and I want his career to continue to flourish. San Francisco's physical, and physicality might be Tua's Achilles heel. Now, we saw what happened against Cincinnati. Now, last week, it was more the leg than anything, the way he was taken down and his body bent backward. I was just happy to see him get up. But San Francisco is going to go after him because with him being accurate, with him being a nice deep ball thrower, with him having weapons like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to dip and dunk to, and they can do the rest and what have you, with him having those capabilities available to him, the one way you go after him is to be as physical with him as you possibly can get away with, okay? And San Francisco is going to be that team. Offensively, listen, they got Kittles, they got McCaffrey, they got Debo, they've got weapons, and we know that. But I think that this game is going to be decided in the trenches. They're going to go after Tua. And we're going to see what happens and whether or not he can withstand the heat that they're about to bring his way, because they consider him relatively miniature and, dare I say, fragile. And as a result of that, that's what they're going to try to do to him, because that's what I would do if I got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to worry about. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to put a hat on him as often as I could possibly get away with if I'm the San Francisco 49ers. And they have the capability, more so than almost any other team in the National Football League, to do just that.
Yeah, I mean, I get your point on San Francisco's physicality. I think every defense tries to get after every quarterback, you know, specifically.
I'm just talking about people who can, and there are those who can.
San Francisco can. I think Miami's way too smart, both Mike McDaniel foundationally and fundamentally, but also the reality of him knowing that that left tackle that they have, Teron Armstead, is not playing. He's not going to have Tua sitting back there holding on to the football. This will be a horizontal game. They will kick a ton of perimeter screens out there. They'll use their backs in the pass game. They will live in the RPO. If they are going to try to take a couple shots to push the ball downfield, he will go max protection. I don't think that they're going to sit there and fool themselves into thinking, well, we're just going to be able to block him up and our offensive line is good enough. I just think that Mike is too smart, and he's going to make sure that they play this game sideline to sideline and not ask this offensive line to protect. That's why, and I think Tua's going to get the ball in his hands quickly. His completion percentage will probably be over 75%, and it's really going to come down to, do they excel in the run after the catch or the yards after the catch with their perimeter players? Can their backs make some plays in their screen game? And then how effective is their RPO world? I don't think that they're going to ask Tua to hang on to the football long.
Who are you taking, Miami?
I'm taking San Francisco. I'm taking San Francisco. I don't have to hem and haw. I'm rolling with San Francisco.
I'm gonna take Miami. As concerned about people are with Jimmy Garoppolo, and he should have thrown a couple picks last week. I have more concern about their pass protection.
Yeah.
Miami's defensive line, Wilkins and Bradley Chubb are coming on. So I'm gonna take Miami.